And Andrew here from Bolt Bros after a victory over the Raiders. Woo! Gotta love that all the time, right? Beat the Raiders every time. I'm all about that. So obviously a little bit late doing this post-game show, but we wanted to get it out to you guys. And man, I love after getting a 20-9 win. And actually the score is not truly story in my opinion on this one. There's a lot of things that the Chargers did right in this one, and a lot of mistakes the Raiders made on this one too. So let's go ahead and just jump on into it, guys, and let's get it. Bolt Bros.
Let's go.
Herbert here, man. You watching the Bolt Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Charter blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Bolt Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
There we go.
Awesome.
There we go.
Yeah, so that game was pretty amazing. I think the Chargers dominated from beginning to end. And guys, just a little reminder, I will be on the AFC West Roundtable show at 3:30 Pacific time, 4:30 Mountain time. So if you guys want to join, I just threw that out there. Probably send you another little reminder later on, but I will be on that. So, Bolt fam, show up and let's talk some trash to the rest of the AFC West.
Man, and we could talk trash right
That's
now.
Right.
Two out of three have gotten beat down so far. Third one, next victim is coming up this weekend, and we will be at that game too.
The Bolt Bros will be there.
All three of us will be there. Bolt Sis will be there. It's going to be great, man. So I can't wait to be able to be at SoFi. It's weird to think week 3 is kind of essentially our home opener, in a sense. So it's kind of weird to think about that, but yeah, man, I'm
on that week one for sure. So that was ridiculous.
Yeah, kind of ridiculous. But we are here now, and we're 2-0, top of the AFC West, and it is lonely at the top, guys. And let's stay lonely, and let's get this division, guys. Very early in the season, but a lot of really good things kind of happening for the Bolts right now. Doesn't it feel different with this team so far? Like after 2 weeks, I just feel like this team is different. It's like, whatever it is, something is firing in all cylinders. This team is bought into Harbaugh. It just feels different for this year so far. And I love to feel that way. I love to feel confident going into games now.
Yeah, it's exciting. And I think this is exactly what I expected. If you watch the AFC West podcast, when I was on there, I said Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders. That's how it was going to end up by the end of the year. I think that's still exactly what we're looking at. So I think it's exactly, what we're looking at as far as this team is concerned and where we're sitting. I personally think we're going to be tough to beat, right? ESPN actually has us ranked, I think 7th overall out of 10. So that's another bit of trash talking I'm going to throw out there on the video today.
No doubt.
So it's going to be exciting. So
no doubt. Well, the power ranking's been great for us. I mean, I think some people even said, hey, we're legit now. We're a legit elite team at this point. And so it's great to see the respect is going out there. Now, big game coming up against the Broncos this upcoming weekend. So that's going to be something to really be able to be a true statement game, in my opinion. But when you start looking past the Broncos and you start thinking about what the first 2 weeks have been looking like with teams, I mean, there's a lot of shaky teams out there. And there's a lot of shaky teams that we're going to be playing against here in the next almost 6 to 7 weeks at this point. So there's a really, really good forecast with this team coming up. So it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, and again, these tough wins. I mean, look, I didn't think the Raiders, here's the thing. I like the Raider fans humble and feeble, right? And unfortunately, their team is getting better and better at this point, right? Too. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And Mighty for our first super chat today. Harbaugh 6-2 in the division so far. So, it's going to be interesting. And I will say this, the run game has not been great. I think they stepped away from it a little too early in both games, in my opinion, personally. But I think that's really been a bit of a problem with this run game to some degree, right? So it'll be pretty interesting to see how that plays out moving forward. I hope they stick to it a little more frequently. But I think Justin Herbert, they kind of realize he's our best player on the field, so why not just give him the ball and get him the opportunity to win the game? But you do put a little bit of pressure on Justin Herbert and this offensive line and the ability to get hit and hurt and all the above. So that's where you get a little nervous.
Yep, absolutely. But same side, I think the run game kind of worked a little bit to our benefit and what we wanted to do late in the game too.
Yeah.
Kind of basically found a way to close out the game and everything too. And I apologize, my camera I'm watching it on YouTube right now. My camera seems to be running a little slow, but hopefully you guys could hear me and everything too.
Yeah, you sound fine. You're just kind of glitchy. That's
perfect. Cool. Strange. I don't know why, but we got some good stuff to talk about the game though, man. You want to run through the stats real quick, and then we kind of talk a little bit about what the stats are telling us about this one.
Yeah, pretty interesting, man. I really sit back and I was looking at the stats earlier today, and pretty interesting. I mean, Justin Herbert, by the way, he started like 1 for 5.
Crazy, right?
Like he did not start out well, and
no.
He was struggling. But Geno Smith, man, he was dry humped up and down the field. Look, one thing I will say, let me say this. If you could rush 4 in the NFL and still get pressure on the quarterback, you will not win that game. You just will not. And that's what the Eagles do well. That's what Houston Texans do well. That's really what, a lot of these major, top 10 teams do. So we show Geno Smith like what it's like to really have some real pressure. And everyone's like rambling on about the Patriots, and it was a big win. It was a big win for a couple of mid teams, but it is what it is, right? I mean, so Justin Herbert, balled out, and look, what do they have defensively? They have Max Crosby, right? And anyways, we'll talk more about that as well too. But Justin, it doesn't bode well that he was our number 1 rusher in the game. I didn't like 100%. That.
Nope.
And some of the rushing calls were a little weird, in my opinion. I think they were just a little strange. I was a little off on them. I don't know. What do you think on that, James?
Well, and just go back to the rush game. This is Justin Herbert leading the rush side of the offense 2 times in the first 2 weeks
in a row.
So that's not good. I mean, you don't really want your quarterback to your best rusher unless you're trying to make him Josh Allen from a couple of years ago or whatnot. And I don't think it's necessarily where you want to put your quarterback, but Justin Herbert is an absolute stud with the ball in his hands. He could still make plays happen when he's running around there. And you got to love to see that with a healthy Herbert. But you got to find a way to get Najee and Omarion Hampton out there doing what they're supposed to be doing and rushing the ball. Like Najee, I think, needs to get the ball a little bit more, in my opinion, at this point.
I agree.
Now, I love Omarion Hampton. I think he's going to be great. But I think when you watch what Najee does when he has the ball in his hands, he's very aggressive. Very, very much doing those extra effort type things. Not saying Omarion's not, but there is something more from Najee, and you could tell that he's been in the league for a few years. Which I think you need to get the ball to him a little bit more. So, that's where my head's at on the rush game. I think we need to get things rolling a little bit more on this too. But we did end the game by rushing the ball basically 4 times, which is what you want to do.
Yeah. So, Action Dan, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. We've never lost a lead in both of our last 2 games. We will score first against the Broncos, not look back. I think the Broncos are a good team. It was weird. Did you see Sean Payton and Bo Nix getting into it on the sidelines in that game? And I don't know, dude. I'm not a fan of Sean Payton. I think that guy is just a jerk, So I'm not a fan of that guy. But so we'll see how that plays out. I'm curious, if there's trouble in paradise. I have a buddy of mine who's a big Broncos fan, and he's already talking trash. But bottom line, we'll see. I think it's a Chargers game to lose next week. So, and again, we'll be there. We will be there.
Yes, all 3 of us will be there for the home opener week 3 against the Broncos. I think we will be on the Lightning Strikes podcast too at Electric Avenue. There's also a very cool event. If you haven't seen out there, we're going to have a really big party going on there too. So it's going to be really, really amazing. And it's obviously Thunder Alley and Electric Avenue is always a party any which way. It's the best way to pregame in the NFL, in my opinion. You even had Jim Harbaugh there during the preseason, kind of go and eating some tacos and let's talk about it, man. So it was so dope, man.
But, I would love to see if he came out again, or even
that would be incredible.
Incredible.
I'd love to see that happen. But bottom line, it's going to be a great time this weekend, guys, for the Bronco game. But with this Raider game, I think the offense wise, and one thing that I had a concern about this offense is that it's going to run a little slow. And you had 10 days off essentially from the game, from Brazil. And the offense felt that way. I mean, starting out 1-5 for Justin Herbert, it was just seemed like we weren't like up and ready for this one. And my concern is that the Raiders were going to capitalize on that, and they did not at that point. They basically threw a pick the first time. First throw from Geno Smith ended up becoming a pick, and it was pretty much downhill for the Raiders at that point. So did not go well with them. But
they only got 218 yards total. Our defense is pretty elite, right? Again, so I was looking at the stats on that right now. We are allowing points per game. I think we're only allowing 15 points per game. The only other team that's better than us, there's two teams, the Rams and the Falcons, which I thought was crazy. So I can see the Rams, but the Falcons kind of surprised me. I mean, I'm a little surprised by them so far. So we need to reach out to our boys, our podcast.
Out of your Falcon mind, they're back, guys. They're back. Yeah, it's crazy because I watched that Falcon game too, a Sunday night game, and I think I was texting with them, and I was like, "Wow, you guys got 6 sacks in this game. That's like more than you had all season last year. I swear." Yep. And like it was like literally, I think they pulled up a stat during the game. They were like, I think for the first 8 weeks, they didn't even have 6 sacks. It was like really bad for their defense. So whatever they're doing now, they're creating pressure and getting sacks over there. But it's great to see that the Falcons doing okay out there and all that. But man, this defense, Chargers defense was flying all over the place. And I loved watching that. I mean, they were putting hands on passes. They were just batting passes left and right. It was awesome to watch. This was a great game. And the one thing I'm going to say about this game, though, I wanted a beatdown. Yeah, we didn't necessarily get a beatdown, but we made them look really, really bad. Like, ultimately, we just made them look like a bad team. And that's great. It kind of demoralized them a little bit. And there was late in the game, I think there was a picture of Geno Smith sitting on the sidelines, and he just looked so sad and distraught. It was hilarious. It was such a funny picture. I was hoping to get a photo of it while I was at the Bolt Pride 602 watch party, and I just couldn't get my phone out quick enough for that one, but it was great.
So let's review the stats since we have them up here. I know we're kind of talking about everything all at once. So let's say a little focus. So the total yards, 317 yards total to 218 passing yards. Look, 236. That could have been higher. I think at the end of the game, we were trying to run the ball. And I think pretty much all fourth quarter, we were just running the ball, which I thought was a little bit, By the way, that 4th and 1, I'm not happy with that call. That was a little annoying. Didn't understand that situation. I mean, who knows? It's probably something they practiced and they thought, okay, this would be sometimes just run the damn ball moving forward, right? Just you got Najee Harris and Ryan Hampton anyways. But
you could also say that time they did 4 plays at the goal line trying to stuff it in, or it was 3 plays at the goal line and they just ran it up the gut. You're like, what are you doing, dude? Do something a little different.
Exactly. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at is that Greg Roman needs to start doing something a little different than that, right? At least stretch it out. Maybe do a toss to one side. You just run it to one side. I don't know. They keep trying. I mean, he literally ran into a ball of human beings, right? I'm like, where are you going, dude? Like, you can't get through that, right? So
trying to run the guys through a brick wall, it just doesn't work, like it's ridiculous.
We beat them on rushing yards, which is good. Yards per play, definitely. First downs, we're even on that. Third down efficiency. I think we need to improve on this. This is kind of one of the things I saw in that game that was a little surprising to me. 3rd and Keenan, all the above. We didn't do too great on 4th downs. We could have been better on that one again.
But I will say for the third down efficiencies for the Raiders, 9 out of 18. A lot of those were made on that 11-minute drive in third quarter. Yep. And there was probably 4 of those that were made in that one drive alone. Might even been 5 during that time. And that was like, that drive, and we'll talk more about that here in a bit, but that drive was kind of shifted the game in a way that benefited us quite a bit, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I'll say this too. We were playing pretty prevent defense at that point, right? Like, let's be clear. We weren't trying to really get to the quarterback. Well, I shouldn't say that. You're always trying to get to the quarterback, but you're blitzing a ton. You're blitzing here and there a little bit, maybe a 5-man rush, but they weren't really they were fine with them chewing clock because they had 2 scores they had to get no matter what, right? So the thought was like, well, let's just let them, fiddle fart around and chew up. Like I think we chewed up 7 minutes, then they chewed up another 7 minutes. So the entire third quarter was gone.
Yeah. Well, their drive was like 11 minutes alone in third quarter.
That's right. It was 11 minutes. Yeah, it was crazy because it went into the fourth quarter.
We only had the ball once in the third quarter. They same thing for them. It was crazy. Yeah, it was wild.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
I thought the penalties were good. I mean, 6 and 5, it's not too bad. Fumbles lost. That fumble loss was, again, that fourth down. Actually, no, was that 2 fumbles then?
Well, Darius Davis had that fumble, but he recovered that one.
Oh, that's right. He didn't recover.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot. Yep. Okay. So that was just a Martin Hampton. Time of possession, again, kind of interesting. But let's look at player stats real quick. We don't care about the Raiders, of course. But Justin Herbert, he did good, man. Actually, do you have that slide up that we posted on our YouTube channel of what he's done the first 2 games? Do you have that slide up?
I think I put it in the slides.
Okay, that's fine. We'll review it a little later on. But So rushing was good. Najee Harris. Again, I think Najee needs more touches. I think Amari needs more touches. They need at least 10 each, in my opinion. At least 10 each. We seem to be going away from that a little too much, a little too early. But again, it's a little. I want to get your thoughts on this, and in the chat, give me your thoughts as well too. It's a little hard when you have someone like Justin Herbert. You have Keenan Allen, and you have Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston playing so well. It's a little easy to just say, let's put in Herbert's hands. But you're also playing with fire in that situation where he could potentially get hit. A low blow, hits his knees, ankles, something of that nature. So I think that's why they moved away from the run a little bit more. But I think they can get back to it. They really do. What's your thoughts?
Agreed. Well, and I think some people in the chat, and I was chatting about with my fantasy group, they were talking about, well, maybe we're just not getting enough push at the O-line, and we're not feeling comfortable enough with the O-line. You got to think about not having Rashawn Slater there, Mekhi Becton, who actually had a pretty low PFF in this game too, by the way.
Which is weird. Yeah.
Which is really weird. But anyways, PFF is very, very subjective. But I think it really becomes, I think they're trying to mesh the O-line, and they felt like the strengths of this O-line at this point is to get the pass game rolling. We got plenty of weapons. I mean, we played a lot of 10 personnel in this game again.
Yeah.
Like we were throwing out 4 wide receivers out there pretty often. We got a lot of weapons in the pass game, and we know Justin Herbert can make the throw and make the smart throws too. So I think that's where it's at. I think it's also maybe they're trying to just get Najee Harris kind of going. This is his preseason at this point for him. And I don't think they want to overload him at this point. So maybe it's just going to be more kind of a down the road, try to figure out the O-line at this point, get it rolling so they could kind of figure out a run game situation. But you don't want to always throw it on Justin Herbert to be the lead rusher for 2 games so far.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Well, and again, I think there's been a little bit of a lack of creativity in the rushing game too.
Big time. Yeah.
A gap, B gap, just run it. I don't know. I understand the argument around, A gap, just gap running because you're just going vertical north and south. But and again, Najee Harris is good at that, and Martin Hampton's going to be good at that. But you can do some zone stretch runs. You can just, anyways, you do some more creative things. Quentin, that over the shoulder catch was incredible, man. Wow, I was so excited. And what a perfect pass by Herbert, by the way. Keenan Allen, amazing. Ladd McConkey, Ladidi. Good to see Trey Harris with that dope catch, man. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so one thing I will say, and then we'll go into the defense real quick. I was kind of surprised. Everyone kept rambling on about Max Crosby's going to destroy Justin Herbert, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you know what they did? I don't know if you guys saw this, guys. They literally had Matlock on him at times, and then they just had Amari and Hampton chip him on the way out. Yeah. Those 2 guys were shutting him down, and then Pipkins was just kind of sitting there like, okay, cool, I'll just kind of hang out. So and it was hilarious to me. And I kept thinking to myself, like, wow, they just eliminated him without even using the right tackle. And I just thought that was pretty cool. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, and that's the smart game plan, right? We kind of think about Pipkins and versus Max Crosby. It might get eaten up quite a bit too. And, bottom line, they did a great job. Just keep hitting him. Just keep pushing him around. Take him off his spots. Make him have a hard day at work. And essentially, that's what the Chargers ended up doing to Max Crosby. It was great to see that. They did a great game plan on that one, and it's the right game plan. You can leave Joe Alt on an island, and he's going to do his dang job. So that was awesome to see. Awesome.
Yeah, to see. And I think they credited him 2 pressures or something like that. And I was like, no, probably, but they did leave him on an island the entire game, which look, hey, that's a nice luxury to have as well too. And Aether you said, I told you Ravens are a fraud. Guess what? If the Bills and the Chargers are the big dogs in the AFC, I think there's some truth to be said about that. I mean, the Ravens have a lot of great players, though, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that team has been around. They're a good team. Look, here's something I'm going to say on the podcast today, AFC West Roundtable Podcast. You want to see it? I'm going to give you guys this for the third time, 4:30 Mountain Standard Time, 3:30 Pacific. Look, I'm telling you right now, there's only 10 teams in the NFL that you have to pay attention to. The rest of the teams get participation trophies. That's what they get. They get a little ribbon that says, good luck, nice try, that was awesome. And that's exactly it, guys. Like, the Raiders are not going to be a team at the end of the season that are going to be in they're not going to make the playoffs. They won't. They won't be relevant for probably 2 years at least. And that's if they get a better quarterback, because Geno's not going to take them where they need to go. And so my point is that, like, look, there's really only 10 teams. I would argue the Chargers are in the 10-team conversation. Every other team, like, you got the Ravens, you got the Eagles, you got the Rams, you got the Detroit Lions. The Packers look amazing, by the way.
Yep.
And then Eagles, I think, are the best. The Bills look great. So I'm just saying, like, look, it's really down to 10 teams every year, and that's just how it is. That's the NFL. Every year, that's the NFL. It's so funny because everyone's rambling about the Patriots being some sort of surprise team. I'm like, no, they're not going to be a surprise team. They're going to be better this year, but they're still not going to make the playoffs. And you know what? Okay, they're going to earn their stripes and have an easier, schedule next year. Maybe they make something of themselves. We'll see what happens. But
we'll see.
But Dayon, being sick, still came out, got an interception.
Flu game. He had his flu game, and he played great. Like, that guy's a dog.
Tarheed, Julie. Dog. By the way, Unk. Can we put Unk down to the practice? I don't think so.
No.
He's got to stay up there. You just got to leave him up there.
Well, it depends on what's going on with Elijah Molden. I mean, every time Tony Jefferson's out there, he's making plays, dude. And, like, he's got to be out there more often, man. And now Elijah Molden's a great player too. And we have a very, very strong safety group. But, man, when Unk is out there, Tony Jefferson, man, he is making things happen. I thought it was cool. I think a post-game conversation with Tony Jefferson, he talked about how he's a San Diego guy. You know, he knows the history of the Raiders, Chargers, and the rivalry there and everything too. And he just brought up, he's like, I don't think the youth that is here understand, like, this rivalry and, like, how big it is. Like, this is a big rivalry. And so I think he is that kind of like that juice that adds to this defense in a game like this against the Raiders. He understands he doesn't like them. He's a San Diego guy. Like, I think he likes to bring in that pain in this type of game. And it was great, man. It was great to see, man. I love that he got a pick. Yeah. Amazing. By the way, when Khalil Mack went out, Justin Aboigbe was actually an edge rusher. Interesting. Yeah.
So they did run him quite a bit on the edge, which I think he probably will again. I'm curious to see what happens. The Cowboys just signed Jadeveon Clowney. So I was actually thinking about doing a video on, okay, what edge rushers could we go get because of Khalil Mack. I don't know. I'll maybe do a video on that. I'll see if there's anybody out there that's worth grabbing. But anyways, interesting game. So Dante Jackson, dude,
played great.
Guy's a dog too. Troy Dye and Austin Jones. I mean, come on. Marlo Wax was out there as well too. Caleb Murphy, again, he looked pretty good out there. I mean, Bud Dupree, I think these two guys are pretty much just going to try and set the edge. Let's just keep the guy in the pocket. Don't let anybody get outside. You know, that's Bud Dupree's better days are behind him, but you know, he's serviceable. Caleb Murphy, kind of the same way, I think. So I'm curious if we do go get an edge rusher. What do you guys think? If we do go get somebody, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it's interesting about the whole Bud Dupree thing. Like, he actually had a PFF of 46.1. We just signed him to another 2-year extension or a contract. So we have him for 2 years. Obviously, it's not a huge extension by any means, but the pressure is a little bit on him now. I mean, if we're not going to go after anybody and he's going to take Khalil Mack's position, this is his time to shine at this point. Crazy thing, too. Now, PFF is very, very subjective, but Tuli Tuipulotu, his PFF was 66.7. Now, that's not like bad, not great. It's kind of that middle range type thing. Yeah. But the top 5 guys of the top 5 worst defensive players that had 20+ snaps, you had Bud Dupree and Tuli Tuipulotu there. And, you know,
and Tuli was weird because he did a good job. The thing about Tuli, he does a good job of supporting the rest of the defensive line. Like he doesn't always get that guy. But man, and by the way, Kyle Kennard, he's been inactive. I don't know what's going on with him. He's hurt. Something's happening to him. So, so right now, man, still available today. Okay, let me just double check this. Okay,
Yannick Ngwoge. I can never say that dude's last name. Yannick Ngwoge. I can never say his dang name, but he was with the Ravens a couple times, and then he was with the Raiders, I believe, last year, and also with the Colts in previous years too. So that's the guy that came to my mind just because there's the connection to the Ravens there.
Okay.
So they've had hands-on with the guy. Yannick would be a guy too. I can never say that dude's last name. But it would be interesting to see if they do kind of get things going with Kyle Kennard and really giving him an opportunity at this point. If they don't feel confident about him and keep putting him inactive before games, I would probably say that probably would be a bad idea in my opinion. Maybe they're not feeling comfortable with him. Even in preseason, I felt like he wasn't kind of like fully there yet. I think he still had to figure things out, setting edges and all that. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. So right now, Jadeveon Clowney just got signed.
Yep.
Shaquille Barrett is available.
Barrett.
I think. Yep. Yeah. Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, Carl Law. Anyways, that's pretty much the only ones worth talking about. But we'll see what happens. I'm really curious if we do go after somebody. So, anyways, here we go. Yeah, actually, this is good. Yeah, Carl Lawson and
Ngakwe. I can never say the dude's name.
Ngakwe. I'm like, hey, his name is what again?
It's like a difficult name. It's a difficult name, but yeah, you gotta love to see what this team did defensively, offensively. It was great. It was bottom line. It was great to just see the Raiders just get smacked around, dude, and just make mistakes after mistakes, and it was lovely. It was lovely.
It was great, right? And bottom line, man, the Raiders are not the best team. They don't have the players just yet, right? They just don't. So it's one of those things where they really need another 2 years to really get themselves in position. So do we want to have a word from our sponsor here, James?
You want to do it? Let's get it.
All right. Let me get this going here. So as you guys know that we're working with Sleeper. Sleeper has absolutely been amazing, guys. Look, Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's an awesome app, by the way. It's a one-stop shop for your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat in games real time with other users, talk all that trash, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news, and alerts right at your fingertips. And again, always consult the Bolt Bros. We'll help you with all that in fantasy, real money, picks, contests, so you can enjoy sports the way they were meant to be together. Download the #1 sports app today, Sleeper. By the way, again, get a $100 deposit match up to $100. Use code Bolt Bros. Please just use it. Honestly, guys, it's like the funnest little app. I think it's amazing. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. So take a look at it if you want to do all that. Have some fun.
Great stuff. Shout out to Sleeper, man. It's great stuff. We love it.
There you go. Stop sleeping on Sleeper. Thank you, Miguel. Amen. I appreciate that.
Dude. Amen.
Stop sleeping on Sleeper, baby.
For our fantasy, it's great. The predictive picks and everything are phenomenal too. It's awesome.
In fact, I'm gonna check my fantasy team right now. Actually, I need to double check it real quick.
I hate my fantasy team on Sleeper, by the way, because whatever it is, I cannot win a dang game, dude. And I have a good squad, and I'm screwing it up, dude.
I'm 2-0, baby. I'm 2-0. Oh, see, I just win, baby. That's all I do. I just win. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's a long season, baby. It's a long
Thank you.
season.
H4. This is exactly what I'm going to say on that podcast, too. 22 years of irrelevancy. And you know what? Raider fans love to ramble on about their 3 Super Bowl wins, right? That was years ago. I promise you, no single player out on that field gives a damn about what happened in the past. They care about the present.
100%, dude.
The fans can ramble on about the past all they want, but any real players, any real person that's involved in it, they don't care about that. Come on now.
The funny part of it is that even the fans that are even out there that are for the Raider fans, that is, they weren't probably even alive to even witness that, dude. I mean, if they were, they might be babies in diapers, dude. Like, that was a long time ago. It was 83, I believe it was. Like, bro, I was only 3 years old at that time. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Like,
come on.
Crazy to me. Crazy to me to see that. But yeah, I mean, obviously they did go to a Super Bowl, 2001, I believe. And then they getting smoked by John Gruden, who went over to the Bucs. So they don't got much to look at these days. So, and I love to see it, but jumping into the slides here real quick. I know that's one thing that we were talking a little bit about here too. just to kind of show off some of those slides and everything. Yeah, no playoff wins in 22 years too. That's a whole nother side of things too, man.
And could somebody give Mark Davis a good haircut? He looks like Lloyd Christmas on Dumb and Dumber, dude. I mean, literally, like, it is embarrassing. As rich as that guy is, what a stupid haircut.
Oh, it's the worst, dude.
I mean, it's just clownery. Like, what are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, it's the worst. But let's jump in the slides here real quick. And speaking of that, Justin Herbert walking in with the middle finger up, dude.
Woo!
Dude, it was the weirdest thing. And because I saw like a picture of this and I was like, did he really do that? And I was searching around for the video. And bro, he was walking around with his middle finger up the whole time, dude. I was like, this dude was locked in. Right.
Dude, he did not care, bro. He did not care.
It was great, man. And it was awesome to see that, to see Justin Herbert just saying, hey, look, F you, family, trust, and respect, baby. Let's go. Right from the get-go. But it's great to see that, man. And great to see Herbert just being locked in like that. And, speaking of being locked in, this is like what he's looking at like right now this season. I mean, he's cooking. Justin Herbert's in the kitchen cooking right now. 44-61, 72% completion at this point. 560 pass yards, 63 rush yards, 5 touchdowns, 127.3 passer rating, 2-0 top of the AFC West, and 2 division wins on top of that. So this guy's cooking, dude. Like I said earlier in the podcast, I feel like this team's just different. Like it's something different about this one. And I don't know if it's just a healthy Herbert. I mean, obviously the mantra of, having, Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter just cooking either which way. It's just, this team's different right now. And I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. And yeah, that was a slide I wanted to see. By the way, I love that uni-color combination right there.
Fantastic.
The white tops and the baby blue bottoms. It just looks, I don't know. It looks clean. I don't like the white, the baby blue, and then the white. Like that just looks a little weird. You're like, what am I looking at here? I don't know. There's something about seeing it even. I don't know. But I will say this. By the way, LOD, that was good. When that Raider secondary hit Herbert, that I was pissed. That was a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah,
everyone was pissed
all
off.
heated.
But Herbert looks good. I'll also say this too. He's got weapons to throw the ball to as well, right? Quentin's doing a better job. We're having Ladd back, as awesome as he is, and then also having Keenan Allen back. He's got an ability to throw the ball. And guys, we still haven't even seen KLS out there. We're just starting to see Trey Harris as well. And we haven't even seen Ronnie Gatson, by the way.
Yeah.
We haven't even seen Ronnie Gatson. Okay, where's this guy at? So I'm just thinking, it's just, yeah. Yes. And the all navy blue, I'm excited for that one.
Love the navies. Love the navies. And going back to that whole thing too, and the amount of weapons, and I said to it earlier this podcast, we're running a lot of 10 personnel, and we ran that 0 last year. What does that tell you? We didn't have enough weapons last year. Period. Now we got more than enough weapons with this team. It's giving Herbert all the opportunity to make things happen. One thing, there was a lot of clean pockets for Justin Herbert too, by the way, throughout this game. It was crazy to see. And just to throw out PFF, I know it's very, very subjective, but offensively, top 5 players, minimum 5 snaps. Najee Harris was at 75.7. That was the highest rated PFF player in this game.
Najee was really
crazy. And I didn't even realize he snaps, which is wild. Keenan Allen 75.1, Ladd McConkey 74.3, Joe Alt 73.4, and Justin Herbert 67.9. So what does that tell you? We got 2 of those being wide receivers and 1 running back. Obviously, your offensive tackle. If you had Rashawn Slater out there, I'm sure he would always be top for PFF rankings. He's got more than enough weapons at that point. It's great to see that. And the worst 5 were Tyler Conklin at 44.2. Mekhi Becton, 50.4, Scott Matlock, 52.4, Disley, 53.9, and Amarian Hampton at 60.2. So those were the worst 5.
And by the way, let me just say this. By the way, Action, and thank you so much. Bo Nix has 3 turbos. Let's give him another 3. This could be an interesting second year for Bo Nix over there. It was weird seeing them arguing back and forth. I'm curious. I'm just so curious what they were saying and what was going on in that scenario. But look, I think that you put some pressure on Bo Nix, I think you'll be in fine shape. I think they're going to run exactly the same game plan they ran against the Chiefs. They're going to try and just keep him in the pocket and just collapse the pocket around him. and just put enough pressure on him to just not have an ability to feel comfortable in that pocket at all, right? And they might rush 5. Yep. But if they can get a pressure with 4, that should be a pretty easy victory. Again, the Bolt Bros will be there with Bolt Sis, so come say what up.
Yeah, what up? What up? And I know there was like some other stats that I was looking at too about like time to throw the ball and everything too. I mean, the pocket gave Herbert more than enough time to cook, and it was great to see that, man. And I think it was, man, where is it at? I was looking at some of PFF stuff this morning, but anyways, great to see it. Love to see what happened there with the Chargers. Oh yeah, Herbert had 3.03 seconds to throw the ball. That's a lot of time. But in contrast, average time to throw, he had about, give or take, about 3.2 throughout the entire game. So he had more than enough time to throw the ball throughout this game. So great to see, man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Next week against the Broncos, I think it'll be a little bit more tougher. They have a better defense all around, but they still did get cooked by Daniel Jones, almost 500 total yards on him,
which is crazy.
Yikes.
And clearly there's something going on there, right? Like, I don't know if they're cracking under pressure and they're going to win and they're going to be incredible or whatever. But look, I like Bo-Nix is a good quarterback. He's fine, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, we'll see what happens. And by the way, the Colts are looking pretty good. I think the Colts are actually
crazy.
Yeah, they're offensive. I think they're number 2, 31 points per game. That's freaking nuts.
They haven't punted once so far.
That's right. They haven't punted once. Yeah, it's nuts.
They have not punted once, which is that's wild. But think about what happened last year with the Saints. Remember when that happened last year? They like scored on every single drive. Whoa, Saints are going to be great. And then it just went from that point once they figured things out. But Shane Steichen, I've always liked him as a coach. He's been a good, solid head coach. Maybe this is actually going to be that year that he finally gets a quarterback to establish the team. So moving on to the other slides, the Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, what's your problem kind of situation thing that didn't really seem to happen, but it's just a quick handshake, move on kind of thing.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. What's your problem? That was pretty funny.
What's your problem, dude? That was such a good thing. And Jim Harbaugh's like, what are you talking about? I kind of was hoping at the end of the game for the Chargers that they would actually just drive the ball in and get a touchdown just to put it 27-9 just because, like, just to get the problem type thing. I was kind of like, please just do it. Just do it, Harbaugh. Like, just make it happen.
So sick. Like, because they could have done it. Najee Harris he could have totally done it. Like, I mean, come on. So I don't know. But he's a class act. He's a class act. and he didn't do it. He didn't do it, right?
He did not. So he's like, yeah, we'll just end it as a W and we'll call it a day. We don't need to rub it in their face kind of thing. So which was great. So it's great always to beat the Raiders 100% of the time, man. I'm all about that game.
Rest in peace, Grandpa. He does not want to see us lose. He's not rolling over in his grave right now. So, life is good.
We're good. I thought this was a funny slide because it's all about verbiage, right? It kind of makes you think like this is a positive slide towards Geno Smith, but it's really not. Geno Smith balled out to lead the Chargers to a Monday Night Football win versus the Vegas. 24 of 43, 55% completion percentage. Wow. And then 180 yards. Wow, he's cooking. 0 touchdowns, 3 picks. Takes league lead in interceptions thrown. Wow. He was cooking it for all the wrong reasons.
Yep.
It's great. It was great, man. I thought it was a hilarious slide, dude.
That is pretty funny. Hey, we should send that to who's that Pirate Raider fan? What's his name?
Oh my gosh. Jeez. What is his dang name?
Captain Jack. Yeah, we should send that. Hey, thought you wanted to see this real quick, or maybe I should talk about this on the AFC Roundtable podcast.
Man, you were plugging today, aren't you?
I have no idea why I'm plugging it so much. It just sounds funny to me right now. I don't know why. Oh boy,
man, we sound more and more like we are the Wayne's World situation there, dude.
I know.
It's great. It's great.
Oh, it's so funny. That's so funny.
But I thought this was kind of a funny slide too, and just kind of move forward just about what the defense did to Geno.
Hey,
I mean, 15 passes defensed, 6 tackles for a loss, 3 takeaways, 0 TDs allowed. No team has ever hit all these marks in a game since they both passes, defenses, and tackles for loss. Wait, no team has ever hit all these marks in a game. Oh, so probably since they've actually been recorded. as a thing. So I thought one thing about this game, I was like, man, we're getting hands on the ball all the time. Yep. And it's going to create turnovers. I mean, literally the first pass was a pick, and that was just bat the ball right to Deion Henley. Great. One thing I'll say about that, though, we did get 3 turnovers and only got 3 points out of those turnovers.
Yep.
So we did not capitalize. It could have been worse on the Raiders too, but I love that we just made them look bad. That's the one thing I want to make them look like a mess. And only giving up 9 points to them was actually an absolute win for this team.
Yeah.
Too. We could have basically gassed them more, but we just couldn't find ways to make things happen to get some touchdowns. But bottom line, this defense was cooking. It was great to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, look, like, and you I don't think you put Tony Jefferson down on the practice squad again. I think he's got to stay up there at some point. You just got to figure something out, or maybe keep Elijah Molden out for another couple of days or a couple of games. And I just don't think you put him out. Tony Jefferson is balling out, dude. He deserves a spot. He deserves a spot.
I agree, man. He's the man, dude. He is the man. But you know what? I put this slide in here just because you, Andrew, brought it over to me and sent it to our little group chat. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, which way to the beach? And he's pointing in a very awkward angle.
It's a good point. He's in there. We'll let that slide. We'll let that slide.
We'll let that slide. But I know where you're going with that. But dude, I hope Khalil Mack's going to be fine, man. I mean, that is an ugly, ugly looking twist of the elbow there. And I really hope so. I mean, it's been interesting. The Chargers are saying he's questionable return. I mean, obviously he's not going to be questionable return with a situation like this.
Yeah.
I really hope Khalil Mack's going to come back here soon enough. I mean, I brought up as an example while watching the game of the Bolt Pride guys here in Arizona. You know, I broke, I had a hairline fracture on my left elbow years ago. And man, that just took 6 to 8 weeks to kind of get healed up. And it was a mess. And still to this day, it's like clicking like crazy every time I extend out my arm. I hope that this is going to be kind of a quick turnaround for him. I mean, my thoughts of it is, I mean, we'll hear something about it from the MRI today, but man, we got to get Khalil Mack back out there. But we got to figure out who's going to take over for Mack at this point.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be Bud Dupree, but you know, Bud, man, he looked okay out there. I think his job. I noticed his job was to kind of set the edge. He wasn't there to really put a ton of pressure. I noticed on Geno, but so we'll see what happens. Like I said, do we go out and sign somebody? I don't know. They're going to want to bring somebody else in, I think. And he's going to be out for a while. Like you don't come back from that.
Nope.
If nothing else, he'll have an arm brace, one of those big old, robotic looking things, but we'll see how that happens. Oh, we're going to trade. By the way, the Bengals are cooked, what's his nugget's gone, so maybe you trade for Hendrickson. That would be incredible, but I kind of doubt it, but we'll see what happens. But
I mean, I will say though, I mean, the Bengals, I mean, backup quarterback wise and putting in, Jake Browning. I mean, Jake Browning a couple of years ago played pretty well, but he's going to play pretty average at this point. Like Joe Burrow to Jake Browning is a big dip. So we'll see where this ends up going. But I personally wouldn't mind if the Chargers end up trying to find a trade, try to get somebody from say the Panthers, one of these teams that just kind of just not go in the right direction. Let's go to the Browns. How about the Browns? Let's go after, Shamar Stewart. How about that? Go after him and go get him. Like,
man, that'd be so crazy.
I don't know. Oh no, Shamar Stewart's was from the Bengals, but I know they haven't. My bad. Yeah, I mean, that's wrong. Right division, wrong team. But let's go after and get somebody here. If it's going to be a while for Khalil Mack, you can't really just let this go. Now, I will say, Chargers did blitz the ball about 44% in this one too. And so there was a high level of blitzing, and there was like Derwin James is getting involved. Corner blitzes were getting involved. Obviously linebacker. The one blitz that I loved, which was, I thought going to be the end of the game, is Deion Henley when he was spying on Geno Smith. And he just sat there watching him. And then he just saw the alley and he's like, all right, I'm just going to go after him and make it happen. Just like a missile. Deion Henley just goes in there and sacks Geno Smith. It was a thing of beauty to watch, man.
Yeah, it was.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, if they don't go after anybody, they're going to do some exotic blitzes all around in this game.
Yeah.
From games ahead.
Yep. I agree.
But, man, love to see the defense and what they do. Hopefully Khalil Mack will get all good. But, obviously going back to Justin Herbert, man, this uniform combo is perfect, dude. Isn't it just perfect? Like top to bottom, just looks great. Justin Herbert just throwing out those stats again. He had an average time to throw 3.03 seconds,
which is a lot.
Great. Yeah.
That's a freaking lot.
That's a ton of time. That is more than enough time. Air yards wise in this team, he was just okay. Actually, I'll go through stats real quick on this. He had about 32 dropbacks, 27 attempts, 19 completions, 242 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, passer rating 122.8. In comparison, Geno Smith passer rating was at 30.6 or 30.9, excuse me, 36.9. He just was absolutely cooking. This offensive line is doing well for him. And it's great to see that a healthy Herbert is an absolutely change for this team. Last season, what was it? Greg Roman talked about that. Hey, he couldn't really move, and it took a while for him to be able to do any of that. And now you could see a healthy Herbert is going to be an absolutely dominant Herbert for this team. So it's great to see.
Yeah. And again, I truly believe though that, it'll be interesting to see, how he progresses and how this offense progresses. Again, I just think the running game has been a little odd to me. It's been a little clunky, and that needs to be fixed, right? The passing game has been great. So again, down the stretch, you're going to need a running game, right? Good teams have good rushing offenses where they can run the ball, get first downs, You need to have a little bit of both, right?
Yep.
So I'm a little bit interested. I'm interested to see how that improves. I don't know. Maybe go to some more zone reads instead of more gap concepts. I don't know. I haven't quite figured out. Again, I'm just a nobody on a couch. But at the end of the day, like why they need to do something different, right? Because whatever they're doing is not working exactly. So it's just my take.
Absolutely. They got to change something up with that offensive line. I'm sure they're going to get figured out at some point, and just to say average depth of target for the Chargers is 9.6 yards, 167 air yards for the Chargers in comparison to the Raiders having 29. That is a big difference too. Average air yards per completion. Chargers had 8.8 to Raiders only had 1.2 yards. I think I saw a stat too about this offense. Now, Mina Kimes tweeted this out, said through 2 games, the Chargers defense is forcing an average depth of target of 3.2 yards, lowest in the NFL by a wide margin. So our offense is throwing the ball deep. They're getting a lot of air yards. Our defense is not allowing a lot of air yards. It is making it very, very tough, keeping the ball in front of them, not allowing it go over them at all by any means. Case in point, our defense held Geno Smith. I think it's either it says 0 out of 12 or 0 out of 11 attempts for balls past, I think it's 20 yards or 10 yards. No, it's 10 yards actually. And he got no completions, but 3 picks out of that.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
So offensively, we're throwing the ball deep. We're getting a lot of air through our passes. And we're not allowing a lot of air through any of the passes against our defense. So great to see, man. Great to see.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about if you can rush 4 and put enough pressure, because one of the announcers I think Orlovsky said this on the broadcast I was watching. He said, look, clearly Geno does not know what to do when they're rushing 4, putting pressure on him, and you have a numbers advantage in the defensive back room, right? He's not throwing into lanes that he could potentially get a pick. And I think at the end, he's like, screw it, I just got to throw the ball. You're like, we got to do something. We got to score some points. So he got a little bit weak there with the ball. But my point is that, again, if you could rush 4 and put enough pressure on that QB to make them feel uncomfortable, you are going to win most games. You just will, because you're going to have a numbers advantage. You're going to get some takeaways, and those takeaways will lead to points. So again, it's a really good – this is where Jesse Minter has been great, right? He just did some really basic things like stunts or delayed blitz or spying the quarterback. Dayon Henley was spying the quarterback on that quite a few times at the end there. So
loved it. Yeah.
Anyways, I just think there's a lot to be said about that. So,
and I know we've talked a lot about the O-line. A lot of things that kind of still get it cleaned up, but at the same side, they gave Herbert more than enough time. Over 3 seconds to be able to throw a ball. You got more than enough time to throw it. Just got to figure out that run game. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Got to figure that out. I don't know if they're just trying to wait for Najee to get things rolling or whatnot, but it's just the O-line does need to get together a little bit better and try to get better in the run game side of things. So, and that's, I think, a work in progress for this team. They know they could ride Herbert right now with his arm, But, I think the offensive line will get it together at some point here too.
Yeah, but what a luxury we've had to have Trey Pipkins there too as well too, right? And
Yeah.
again, I know we're getting close to almost an hour here at this point, but Trey Pipkins, again, I was even saying, oh, we're paying him $9 million. Is he worth it? Yeah, right now he's definitely damn worth it, right? So I'm going to say this: we'll probably re-sign him no matter what. We're going to have $100 million, almost $100 million in free agency next year. We'll probably re-sign Pipkins, and we'll probably go get some rookies. Okay, so, but my point is, having a guy like Pipkins that could step in and still play good enough with the help of Matlock and also Marion Hampton. And again, I know Hampton's rushing yards weren't that great, but did a great job in pass protection as well too. You talk about that 3 seconds. That 3 seconds doesn't happen if you have a running back that doesn't pass protect well, right? That's another value that Marion Hampton and Najee Harris has also. So, anyways,
I love it. Just to throw out there, and I know we talked about it. Keenan Allen's cooking, man. 3rd and Allen, doing great. Second touchdown that he's got in 2 games with the team. Quentin Johnston looked like a beast still too. Ladd McConkey did his thing still too. I mean, you got to love what this team is doing. It was interesting. Somebody threw out a stat about Quentin Johnston. He's currently on pace for 1,275 rushing or receiving yards and 25 touchdowns this season. Think about how wild that would be. Think about where the direction people were talking about Quentin Johnston, who he's not. Well, we saw the great over-the-shoulder catch, 60-yard bomb from Justin Herbert, an absolute dime for him. You know what? We got some weapons, boys, and it's great to see. I love seeing this, guys.
100%. And I remember my buddy, I'll just leave one last thought on that, on Keenan Allen, is I remember my buddy last year saying, oh yeah, I don't know if the Chargers are going to be that good. They don't have Keenan Allen anymore. And I thought, yeah, that's a really good point. This is like right before the season started. And again, he was Justin Herbert's safety blanket. He really was. And not having him there, Ladd McConkey obviously stepped in and he filled that void. But to have spread and you have Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey, and now Quentin Johnston, who's doing a good job of getting vertical, really hard to cover those 3 guys out there. It's just impossible.
Very difficult. Last slide, obviously I'm just going to throw out the Quentin Johnston catch. Fantastic. Actually, I lied. I do have one more slide here, but that over the shoulder catch was a thing of beauty. You got to love that the Charger fan right there is perfectly like, yes, he's catching the ball over his shoulder. Woo! And even the other girl over there is even pointing like, he did it.
Oh, he got it. What's up?
Let's go. But last slide here, Dicker the kicker, most accurate kicker in NFL history. Congratulations, man. I mean, what an absolute stud. Number 11, Cameron Dicker is an absolute stud for us. I think he's only missed 1 field goal under 50 yards, I believe. So, I mean, he's pretty much automatic at this point. Dude is an absolute stud. Cameron Dicker. Got to love that we finally got a kicker, because think of all those years we were just going through kickers constantly. And we finally got a guy in Cameron Dicker that could actually be that clutch guy for us. So great to see, man. But man, just to end the video, last thoughts, guys. I mean, what a game. Beating the Raiders, FTR all day, every day. We'll take that all the time, guys. It's family, trust, and respect around here. But now it's on to the Broncos. It's going to be an interesting matchup, and all 3 of us will be there. Bolt Bros, Bolt Sis actually be there, so we're excited about it. And we'll talk more about the Broncos game probably on Saturday when we do the pregame show out in Los Angeles. So it's going to be a good one, but you got to love what we saw from this defense. The defense did a great job. Offense needs to just get a little bit more up tempo to get things rolling a little bit more, figure out how to get this run game rolling. But I think this is going to be a massive game and potentially our 3rd win in the division only after the 3rd week. Man, it's huge, guys.
Yeah, and I think I saw a stat that says that we're 63% chance of winning the division now at this point.
Crazy.
Which is pretty awesome to see. So again, it's still a long season. Again, we want to knock on wood, make sure everyone stays healthy. But I think that's partially why I think we need the running game moving, right? And H4 says start Najee. I agree. I think at this point, let's just get Najee some touches. You bring a veteran in for a very specific reason, to not drop the ball, to show Amarian Hampton what to do, and really get him going. But again, the problem with Najee is that he hasn't been playing. He wasn't part of camp. He hasn't been part of the team a whole lot, right? So he's still kind of learning, this pretty complicated offense, quite frankly, guys. So look, at the end of the day, I'll just say this. The defense was as good as I thought they would be, right? I truly believe that. I was hoping we'd score more points this game. I didn't expect us to score only 20. I thought at least 21. Well, 21, that's not a whole lot more. 24 maybe.
I was hoping 31.
I was hoping in the 30s, low 30s, something like that. I expected more, but I also kind of felt like we sort of pumped the brakes a little bit at the end there. And it was a little strange. Some of the play calling at the end, I was a little not happy with that. But look, bottom line, Herbert looks great. This team has a lot of juice and gas left in it, and I'm just excited. I really, truly believe sky's the limit for this team, man. I mean, again, ESPN has us, ranked 7th right now out of 10. And I've said this over and over again. There's really only 10 teams in the NFL you have to pay attention to, right? The other teams are just noise, right? They just are. And I know that's a harsh thing to say, but all they're going to get this year is a participation trophy. Yep. That's it. Hey, thanks for playing. You might go and go to the playoffs, and that's as far as it goes for you, but that's it. So, look, I'm just excited where this team can go. Like, clearly this team knows what they are, knows what they can do, and knows how to execute, and they have the right players. That's the biggest difference between last year and this year. They have the right players. They went out and got good people in free agency. They had good people in free agency last year with what they could afford. It's just awesome, man. So it's exciting. So
team feels different, and that's what's great about it. And this season is you can't judge off of 2024 being a 2024 team going into 2025. Totally different season, totally different mentality. The Harbaugh mentality is involved in this team, and I love seeing it. So, But we'll keep you guys updated all week. We appreciate you guys jumping in on the live, kind of at a random time for us, but we wanted to get out there and do a post-game show with you guys, and we appreciate all the love and support, guys.
And guys, remember, Roundtable, AFC West Roundtable.
I'll post it on the YouTube, so you got a link on there too. So.
Yeah, you posted. Oh, you posted on YouTube. Good. So again, guys, it'll be in an hour and a half. Is that right?
Yep.
Hour and a half.
It's about right.
Hour and a half. Okay, I'll be on there.
All right, guys. Well, let's get on out of here, guys.
Both
Let's get us out of here, Andy. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast.